Oh yeah, oh yeah. When I see those yields and I see those gains, when I see DeFi, those gonna change. I just be farming and farming away. I just be farming and farming away. When I see 2K on the APY and you wonder why the gas is so high, I just be farming and farming away. I just be farming away. Oh no, lost it all. Shouldn't have aped in, or they pulled the rug. Why did I ape in? Oh no. Why did I ape in? Oh no.
My green screen is not set up today, which means my professionalism is down about 1,000 points, but my knowledge is doing incredibly well. So thank you for watching. My name is Future.Crypto. I hope you don't mind looking at my bookshelf full of dead Christian theologians, because that's what I read. But anyways, I've got another great project for you. I am the DeFi Degen himself. I've taken about a week off because honestly, most of the projects coming out looked pretty awful. But I just want to do a quick recap on a couple of projects I haven't followed, that I haven't mentioned, that I think are doing great. I think Kylan is awesome. Out of everything that's happened on Polkastarter, Kylan is the one I'm most bullish on. Some other projects I've covered recently, I just want to put a disclaimer. I never did buy into APY Swap. I think it could be a great project, but I never did go into it. I don't own any bags of Super Farm, but I think they have a great community. They could do well. I did go into Polka Markets. I think Polka Markets is a great project. And what else have I covered? APY Finance is coming soon. The alpha is dropping soon, so you got to go check out my first video I made on APY Finance. The token has been crashing, and that is awesome because the alpha hasn't even come out yet, and they have a great project coming, so it might be a great time to buy. Who knows? This is not financial advice. I'm just a dude on the internet. Do your own research. Without further ado, let's look at what's coming up on Polka Markets in the next couple days. So we have blockchain cuties happening in 2 days, which, you know, it's not really... I'm not really in that space of the crypto world, but I think some people will like it. Konami is coming, and I've seen a lot of hype about this. I haven't really heard anything about Odds Finance, if I'm being completely honest. And I looked at the page, and it just didn't seem too enticing to me. Shift Network looks great. I don't think I'm qualified enough to do a long video on Shift Network, because it's really essentially what Shift Network is that it's going to be sharing data essentially privately with people, so you're incentivized to be willing to share your data. They have some partnerships with like 10 exchanges, and one of them I think is Binance, which is really huge. I'm super bullish on the project. Basically the point is that they would be able to store sensitive data, or not store it, have it from other places and bring it onto the public blockchain when necessary, but not store it on the public blockchain, since sensitive information should not be on the public blockchain. Because we're in a world where data is money, and so anything solving that is really great. So Shift Network looks great. Go check it out for yourself. But today we're going to look at Convergence Finance, which I think is really huge. I think there's some awesome things going on with Convergence, and so we're just going to look at the page real quick. They don't have much written, and it's not coming to Polkastarter for another 12 days. So if you hold Pulse, go see if you can get in the whitelisting. Without further ado, let's just read this real quick because I'm pretty excited about this project. So Convergence is the decentralized interchangeable asset protocol. Converge the world. Tokenization is the future. It is the process of representing real-world assets with security tokens. Leveraging blockchain technology, we believe this will usher a new age of capital market innovation. Democratizing investment to illiquid asset classes, capturing convenience with digitized ownership, and maximizing operational efficiencies. So, as we know, DeFi is for the most part, it's doing incredibly well, but for the most part, DeFi is native assets. You're just trading other DeFi things that are within the Ethereum ecosystem. But we know that tokenization is the future. Like, the day will come when you can trade tokenized Tesla stocks on Uniswap. But the problem is they pose an issue on how do you make sure that those are properly backed in the world. So we can have different companies doing it. Like we have Pax Gold, which is a great tokenized gold token, but every single token is backed by real physical gold. I think I'm clipping. And so it poses a bit of an issue, and that's what they're trying to fix. So they say the opportunity is huge in the token world, but the volume of security tokens remain low, and this is true. Just low liquidity. So their solution is an AMM that allows anyone to swap among all types of tokens. This is a big promise. A company is going IPO, but you're just a utility token holder, swap it. So basically, the whole point of it is that you can swap security tokens into wrapped security tokens seamlessly. So we build the Convergence layer to allow swapping of utility tokens to wrapped security tokens. Convergence strategically collaborates with the industry-leading asset tokenization players to facilitate a paradigm shift in the security token space. Real assets in DeFi. Thanks to Convergence protocol, users can now hold wrapped security tokens in their wallets and interact with the broader DeFi system. And you see they got some little pictures here. This is Uniswap. This is Ethereum. I don't know what this is. This is like a company, so I'm assuming that's like a stock in a warehouse or something, and a house. So I don't know if this is like selling tokenized houses. I mean, actually, it would be really interesting if at the point all ownership was on the blockchain for everything, period. Who owns the right to this house? Yeah, actually, this is really huge. This is the future. I don't know if everyone realizes that this is where we're going, but here I live in Canada and I'm from Finland. If you live in Europe or North America, you own whatever you own. The government knows you own it. You have papers signing it. But if you go to Africa, you own land and you get run out of it, and there's a war, and you come back to that land 10 years later. Well, you don't really own it. There's no paper that says you own it. Whoever has it, has it. And so if we get to a place where all ownership is on the blockchain, that'd be really great. So that was a bit of a side note, but yeah, they have some investors here. I looked at it. Alameda Research just seems to invest in. I feel like they just go around throwing money. DuckDAO and the rest I'm not too familiar with. So let's just take a quick look at their light paper. So Convergence Finance, light paper V1. So the abstract is just saying everything. We've seen that traditional finance and DeFi are becoming a lot more related, a lot more connected. Security tokens benefit from digitized real-world asset exposure, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so they're trying to solve the liquidity issue by wrapping security tokens. The introduction is just explaining how Ethereum has brought DeFi to a whole new world. And so here is their problem statement. The tokenization market is expected to grow at a CAGR, I'm going to pretend I know what that means, of 22.1% by 2023, with increased institutionalization of the digital assets ecosystem. For asset owners, security token offerings are a means of crowdfunding from professional and accredited investors. As a fundraising mechanism, it enables greater exposure from a wider range of investors as assets can be fractionalized, lowering the minimum ticket size and democratizing investment. Ownership can be immutably and instantly recorded on a digital record of members, ROM, reducing the settlement time compared to traditional processes. In addition, issuance and post-issuance activities benefit from greater operational efficiency, such as dividend payouts and drag-along activities. All sounds ideal, but what are the issues? The first issue is the issuer's perspective, so non-scalable distribution. Security token issuers are unable to fundraise more effectively than before, primarily because investors' demand is weak. In addition, the complex legal structures required for security token offering presents a high barrier of entry for issuers to tokenize their assets, let alone distribute them. This is true. We've seen a big crackdown on security tokens. Unrealized access and liquidity premium. Democratization to investments is also still limited on the issuance size, as STOs are traditionally only open for accredited investors. The widely discussed potential increase in asset prices driven by liquidity and access premium are unrealized. The second problem is the investor's perspective, and there's a lack of liquidity. There's limited liquidity for security tokens. The liquidity of security tokens remains much lower on secondary markets compared to UTs. Meanwhile, security token liquidity bags behind utility tokens liquidity on DeFi dexes are measured by trading volume. So the graph 1 shows the total number of all security tokens against digital assets, and graph 2 compares the trading volume. So here we have digital assets on decentralized exchanges, and here we have security tokens. You just see that they're absolutely dwarfed in both. Ownership is not needed. And then we're not going to read too much into that, but well, actually, this is important because there is a significant problem of how do you know something is backed by the real world. So security tokens appeal to some institutional investors because they're backed by real world assets and their ownership is legally recognized. ST investors have legally enforceable rights associated with ownership and benefit from a faster, more transparent, and automated ownership system on the blockchain. Despite this, legal ownership does not sound appealing enough to a broader investor community for them to sacrifice liquidity. STs are unlike UTs, which can be seamlessly transferred across centralized and decentralized digital asset protocols and exchanges. The linchpin of this is the ability for users to seamlessly swap tokens and automated liquidity pools without a need for a counterparty in decentralized exchanges. The adoption of the ERC20 standard allows for interoperability between protocols and high levels of liquidity in both centralized and decentralized exchanges. Unfortunately, security tokens behave like stocks and are traded on centralized exchanges. And so here we start to get into the solution. So it's just it's explaining what DeFi is. I think we all know what DeFi is. Somewhere here it said, wait. Anyways, it's just saying it would be good for both CeFi or TradFi and DeFi to converge. And so here it is, the Convergence protocol, where we have a traditional finance and DeFi converging. So it will be the first to make real-world asset exposure interchangeable in the DeFi space by connecting wrapped security tokens with utility tokens on one single interface that is easy to use, adopt, and composable with other DeFi protocols. Here we are. The plan is big. They have a huge idea to bring traditional finance, traditional assets to the DeFi world. So unforeseen liquidity. Wrapped security tokens is a new type of token that we traded across the Convergence ecosystem. Tied in economic exposure. We've designed a proprietary token wrapping model that ensures both from on-chain and off-chain perspective. For example, the assurance of wrapped security token holders that they can monetize from the proceeds of companies, so like SpaceX IPO, and composability. Wrapped security tokens are not limited just for trading and liquidity purposes. By working with different types of DeFi protocols, wrapped security tokens will flow around the DeFi supply chain and increase types of utilities. We will soon see stablecoins supported by wrapped security tokens and lending and borrowing protocols with wrapped security tokens as collateral. That would be huge if that's actually happening. The Convergence protocol is just explaining that they wrap the tokens the same way you would wrap Bitcoin, but they would wrap real-world assets. Yeah, the Convergence pool, that's just typical pools. Convergence Dao. The purpose of setting up a DAO is to provide greater transparency and decentralization to the Convergence protocol. CO and V token holders will have governance right to vote on various proposals. So users are the decision makers on whether Doge SpaceX can happen. That's exactly what I want. I wanted a Doge SpaceX. And then they just talk about the native token. It's just a governance right. It's exactly what you'd expect. So super bullish on this project if they can pull off what they're doing. It's launching on Polkastarter, so it's going to have a good start, which is always great. If you can launch on Polkastarter, you're already going to have a base to begin with. Very bullish on this project. I think it was Charles Hodgkinson who was talking about the future will be you walk to your store with your phone and you can pay with Tesla stock and they can receive euros or tokenized gold or whatever, because everything is tokenized. And so that's really exciting. Looking forward to it. So thank you for watching this episode of DeFi Degen. I think a lot of these DeFi projects are starting to get pretty bad. It took me a while to find one I wanted to cover. So I think I'm gonna look more into traditional blockchain projects. They do run on the DeFi world, but as much as I love DeFi and I think it's great and I think it's the future, there's certain projects that are solving things that the world needs. Like Reserve Rights Protocol is one of those, and Origin Trail is another. So I think I'm gonna cover those, but I need to come up with a catchy name that's not DeFi Degen. Maybe it'll be like Good Fundamental Man. Or something. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hey, if you're here, please like, please subscribe, please comment, and if you want to have a chance to win $15 in ADA or Stellar, just because I have a bag of Stellar and it's cheap to transact, go follow me on Twitter and retweet my most recent tweet. I'm doing a bit of a giveaway because I'm trying to get some followers. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.